The plate hits the sink edge, ceramic grinding metal, and Rowan Hale stops breathing. His key is still in the door. Rain drips from his coat collar onto hardwood he waxed 3 weeks ago with Pax giggling beside him, both of them on hands and knees. The house smells wrong. Not bad, just occupied when it shouldn't be. Water runs in the kitchen. Rowan's fingers curl. Alpha instinct floods his veins, territorial, protective, sharp enough to cut. He's killed men for less than breaking into his home. But the scent riding the air isn't threat. It's citrus, steel, something clean that makes his chest tighten in ways violence never does. He moves silent, shoulders filling the doorway. The man at the sink doesn't turn. Not yet. His dress shirt, white, expensive, sleeves rolled to his elbows, pulls tight across his back as he reaches for another dish. Rowan's eyes drop. Carbon fiber, matte black. The prosthetic leg gleams under the pendant light, engineered precision replacing flesh from knee to ankle. The stranger shifts weight. His balance is practiced, controlled, but pain flickers across his jaw when he leans too far left. Then he feels Rowan watching. Hi viewers, kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is. The man turns, slow, deliberate, and Rowan knows that face. Everyone does. Cael Mercer, the Omega CEO who bought half the city's commercial district with handshake deals and contract language that made lawyers weep. The same Omega whose company survived a bombing that should have buried him, whose limp became a symbol on magazine covers he never smiled for. Cael's hands freeze mid-rinse. Water streams between his fingers. A plate slips, cracks against the basin but doesn't shatter. Cael's voice is smooth, even startled, boardroom trained. I can explain. Rowan doesn't move. His pulse hammers against his ribs, but his face stays stone. He spent years teaching enemies that alphas like him don't show fear, don't show surprise, don't show anything until it's too late for the other person to run. But Cael isn't running. He stands there, spine straight despite the prosthetic, despite being caught somewhere he has no right to be. His eyes, dark brown, sharp with something Rowan can't name, hold steady. Omegas don't usually meet alpha stares this long. Submission is biology, instinct, survival. Cael doesn't submit. The air between them hums. Rowan smells it stronger now, Cael's scent, layered with stress sweat and something floral from the dish soap. His own alpha presence pushes back automatically, filling the space, marking territory without thought. Cael's pupils dilate, his breath catches, but he doesn't look away. You're in my house, Rowan says. Each word drops like a stone. Washing my dishes. Yes, Cael sets the plate down carefully. His fingers tremble, just once. The door was unlocked. That's not an answer. No, Cael's mouth twitches, not quite a smile. It's not. Rowan takes one step forward. Cael's weight shifts backward, reflex, not retreat, and his prosthetic scrapes tile. The sound is small, wrong. It punches through Rowan's anger like a fist through drywall. Before either of them can speak, a voice echoes from the hallway. Daddy. Rowan spins. Every predator instinct in his body rewires instantly, protect, shield, defend. Pax stands at the edge of the kitchen in dinosaur pajamas and mismatched socks, his hair sleep-wild, clutching a stuffed wolf with one button eye sewn back on crooked, because Rowan's hands are better with weapons than thread. Pax blinks, looks at Rowan, looks at Cael. He doesn't cry, doesn't hide. He walks forward barefoot, fearless, and stops 3 feet from the stranger in their kitchen. Are you hurt? Pax asks. His voice is soft, curious. He points at Cael's leg the way he points at construction sites and ambulances, trying to understand how broken things get fixed. The room goes silent. Cael stares at the child. Something cracks behind his eyes, quick, brutal before he locks it down. He glances at Rowan. Rowan's jaw is clenched so tight his teeth ache. He should pull Pax back, should get between them, should end this. He doesn't. Cael lowers himself, slow, controlled, painful, until he's kneeling. The prosthetic bends with mechanical precision. His knees hit tile. He's eye level with Pax now, this small alpha-to-be who has no idea what power dynamics he's disrupting just by existing. I was, Cael says quietly, but I'm still here. Pax nods like that makes perfect sense. Does it hurt now? Sometimes. Daddy says hurt means you're healing. Cael's throat works. He looks up at Rowan, really looks, like he's seeing past the coat and the alpha presence and the reputation that makes grown men step aside in hallways. For 3 seconds, Rowan feels exposed, seen, known in ways he hasn't allowed since Pax's mother left and the world became sharp edges and survival. Your dad is right, Cael says. Pax smiles, okay. He turns to Rowan, can he stay for breakfast? Rowan doesn't answer. Can't, because the question sitting in his chest isn't about breakfast. It's about why this Omega, this powerful, untouchable man, came into his home and cleaned his kitchen like he belonged there. And why Rowan isn't throwing him out. Does Cael have a connection to Pax that Rowan doesn't know about, or is something far more dangerous unfolding under his own roof? Cael's car is still outside. Rowan sees it through the kitchen window while Pax brushes his teeth upstairs. The black sedan sits under the streetlight like evidence, expensive and out of place in a neighborhood where people drive 10-year-old trucks and mind their own business. Cael stands at the counter now, no longer touching the dishes. His fingers rest on the marble edge, steady, white-knuckled. He hasn't explained yet, hasn't tried to leave, just stands there like he's waiting for Rowan to decide whether to believe him or break him. "The jacket," Cael says finally. "Your son left it in my car." Rowan folds his arms. "When?" 3 weeks ago, charity gala, downtown Marriott. Rowan remembers. He'd been late, blood on his knuckles from a situation that didn't make the news, his dress shirt torn under his jacket where someone's knife got closer than it should have. He'd walked into the ballroom with Pax's hand in his, both of them pretending everything was fine, normal, safe. Cael had been there, standing near the silent auction tables, a cane hooked over his forearm, his prosthetic hidden under tailored slacks that probably cost more than Rowan's car payment. Their eyes had met once, brief, long enough for Rowan to feel the pull, alpha to omega, biology's stupid insistence that some people are meant to orbit each other. Rowan had looked away first. "Pax got cold," Cael continues, his voice stays level. "You were talking to someone, I offered him my jacket, he forgot to give it back when you left. So you tracked down my address?" "Yes." "And let yourself in?" Cael hesitates, the pause is thin, fragile. "Your door was unlocked, the sink was overflowing. He stops, breathes. I cleaned." Rowan doesn't understand. Not really, because CEOs don't clean strangers' kitchens, don't kneel in front of children they barely know, don't look at single fathers like they're puzzles worth solving. Unless they're running from something. Rowan studies him. Cael's shirt is damp at the cuffs. His hair short, neat, the kind of grooming that requires money and maintenance, is slightly mussed. There's a bruise on his wrist, faded, cold. The shape is too precise to be accidental. "Who hit you?" Rowan asks. Cael's expression doesn't change, but his scent shifts, citrus sharpening into something bitter. "No one." "You're lying." "I'm not here to burden you with my problems." "Then why are you here?" Cael opens his mouth, closes it. For the first time since Rowan walked through that door, the Omega looks uncertain, vulnerable, like maybe he came here for a reason he can't name yet. Upstairs, water shuts off. Pax's footsteps thunder across the hallway. Cael straightens. "I should go." He moves toward the door, uneven gait, prosthetic clicking soft against tile. Rowan doesn't stop him, doesn't speak, just watches as Cael reaches for the doorknob, his fingers brushing brass. Then Cael pauses. "I grew up cleaning," he says quietly, not looking back. "When things felt out of control, I cleaned. His voice cracks, barely. It's what Omegas like me do." The confession hangs in the air, raw, unwanted, true. Rowan's chest tightens. He knows that feeling, the need to control something, anything, when the world won't stop breaking things you love. He does it with routines, bedtime schedules, emergency snacks in the glove compartment, fighting wars he can win so he doesn't have to think about the ones he can't. "Cael," Rowan says. The Omega turns, his eyes are glassy, tired, haunted by something Rowan doesn't have the full shape of yet. "Stay," Rowan says, not a command, an offer. Cael shakes his head. "I've already stayed too long." He opens the door. Cold air rushes in, carrying rain and exhaust and the distant hum of the city waking up. Cael steps onto the porch. His prosthetic scrapes concrete. He doesn't look back again. The door closes. Rowan stands in his kitchen, surrounded by clean dishes he didn't wash, and knows with bone-deep certainty that Cael Mercer didn't come here just to return a jacket. He came here to hide. Morning feels wrong. Rowan pours cereal for Pax, watching his son chatter about dinosaurs and recess, but his mind is elsewhere. Outside, on the street where an unfamiliar car idled too long at the stop sign before rolling away. Instinct prickles at the base of his skull, the kind that kept him alive in alleys and boardrooms, and every ugly space in between. Someone is watching. Pax doesn't notice. He's busy arranging his Fruit Loops into color groups, reds with reds, yellows with yellows, his small hands precise the way Rowan's are when he's counting bullets. Inherited focus, inherited danger. Daddy, can Mr. Cael come back? Rowan's hand tightens around his coffee mug. Why? He was nice and sad. Pax looks up, his eyes too knowing for six study Rowan's face. You like sad people. I don't like sad people. Yes you do, you fix them. Rowan doesn't argue because Pax is right. He spent his whole life fixing broken things, neighborhoods, businesses, people who needed protection and couldn't afford to ask for it. It's what makes him good at what he does, and what makes him tired. His phone buzzes. Rowan glances down, unknown number. The message is simple, check your email. He doesn't recognize the sender, doesn't trust unknown numbers on principle, but something cold slides down his spine. He opens his email. One new message, no subject line, no sender name. Just a video file. Rowan's thumb hovers over the screen. Pax is still talking, something about a field trip, permission slips, parent volunteers. Normal, safe, the sound of a childhood Rowan fights every day to protect. He clicks the video. School gates, morning drop-off, yellow buses and crossing guards and parents in minivans. The camera zooms in shaky handheld on a specific corner, the fence near the playground entrance. The spot where Rowan stands every morning at 8:07, holding Pax's backpack while his son ties his shoes one more time because he never gets it right the first try. A man stands there now, black jacket, hands in pockets, watching. The video ends. Rowan's heartbeat is too loud, too fast, his vision narrows. The kitchen shrinks to the phone in his hand and the boy at the table and the threat that just walked into his life wearing a recorded timestamp from yesterday. Daddy. Rowan looks up, forces his face smooth. Yeah, buddy. You okay? I'm fine, the lie tastes like copper, finish your breakfast. Another message arrives, this one is text. He's a beautiful child. Rowan's fingers crush the phone edge, plastic creaks. He stands chair scraping loud and walks to the window. The street is empty, no cars, no watchers, just cold December morning and the illusion of safety that just shattered. His phone buzzes again. This time it's a forwarded message, sent first to someone else, then to him. From unknown. To Cael Mercer. Timestamp 6:47 a.m. The same video, the same threat. Rowan's blood turns to ice. Cael received this first, which means whoever sent it wanted Cael to know before Rowan did, wanted Cael to understand the leverage, the cost, the choice being forced. Rowan's phone rings, he answers without thinking. Did you get it? Cael's voice is ragged, desperate, nothing like the controlled man who stood in his kitchen hours ago. Yes. I'm sorry, God Rowan, I'm so sorry. Who is this? Silence, then, his name is Bram Kessler. The name lands like a fist. Rowan knows it, everyone in his world knows it. Bram Kessler, Alpha Lord, real estate king, the kind of man who doesn't ask for things because asking implies someone might say no. What does he want? Rowan asks. Me, Cael's breath shakes, he wants me back. Back from what? Everything, the word breaks. My company, my freedom, he stops, can't finish. He sent the message to me first, to make sure I knew what he'd do if I didn't comply. Rowan's hand tightens on the phone. What's he asking for? Public resignation, press conference, I return to his organization. Cael's voice drops to a whisper. I submit, publicly, or he takes Pax. Cael doesn't answer, he doesn't have to. Rowan closes his eyes, counts to 3, opens them. Outside the street is still empty, but he knows better now, knows there are men with phones and instructions and orders to wait, to watch, to report back when Rowan Hale breaks. Where are you? Rowan asks. My office, but I'm leaving. I won't let him, I'll disappear. I'll give him what he wants. Your son won't. Don't. Rowan. Stay where you are. He hangs up, stands in his kitchen with his son eating cereal, and his phone vibrating with new messages he doesn't open. His mind is already moving, calculating exits, safe routes, people who owe him favors he's never collected. Pax looks up. Daddy, we're gonna be late. Rowan walks to the table, kneels beside his son, cups his small face in rough hands that have broken bones and built cribs, and now have to protect the only thing in this world that matters. We're not going to school today, Rowan says gently. Why? Because Daddy needs to fix something first. Pax nods like that makes perfect sense. Is it about Mr. Cael? Rowan doesn't answer. But when his phone buzzes again, and a new message appears with coordinates and a deadline, Rowan knows exactly what he has to do. He has to destroy the man who just threatened his child. The video plays again. Rowan watches on his laptop, frame by frame. He studies the angle northeast corner of the school fence, shot from across the street near the coffee shop that opens at 6. The timestamp reads 7:58 a.m., 9 minutes before Rowan arrives. The man in the black jacket leans against a lamppost. His face is blurred, deliberately, but his posture is patient, practiced. This isn't the first time he's watched children. Rowan's jaw aches from clenching. He saves the file, sends it to 3 people whose names don't appear in any database. Then he opens the second message. No video this time, just text. Plain, professional, terrifying in its simplicity. Cael Mercer will resign from Mercer Industries effective immediately. Press conference scheduled for Friday, 2 p.m. He will publicly acknowledge his return to Kessler Holdings as a contracted consultant. He will thank Bram Kessler for his mentorship and guidance. He will not contest the TRMS. Failure to comply will result in consequences that extend beyond business. Your son ATTNDS Riverside Elementary. Classroom 4B. His teacher is Mrs. Patricianguin. He likes the swings. He ties his shoes twice every morning because he doesn't trust the first knot. Rowan's vision blurs. Red creeps at the edges. The alpha in him wants to tear through walls, hunt down every man connected to this message, make them understand what happens when you threaten a child, his child. But the father in him knows rage is a luxury he can't afford. Not yet. He picks up his phone, dials. It's me, Rowan says when the line clicks open. I need Marcus. The voice on the other end doesn't ask questions. When? Now. He's in Detroit. Get him on a plane. This is about the kid. Yes. Silence, then consider it done. Rowan hangs up, dials again. This time a woman answers. Rowan, her voice is warm, careful, it's early. I need Pax out of the city. The warmth vanishes. What happened? Someone threatened him. Who? Bram Kessler. The woman inhales sharp. Jesus, Rowan, that's. I know what it is. He rubs his face. Can you take him? Of course, when? Today, I'll bring him by noon. Does he know? Not yet. What are you going to tell him? Rowan doesn't answer. Doesn't know. How do you explain to a 6-year-old that monsters are real and sometimes they wear suits and make threats wrapped in timestamps and surveillance? I'll figure it out, Rowan says. Just be ready. He hangs up, stares at his phone. 3 calls made, 3 pieces moved. The board is shifting, but the game hasn't started yet. His phone buzzes, another message. This one is different. From Cael Mercer. I'm coming to you, don't try to stop me. Rowan curses. He doesn't want Cael here, doesn't want the Omega anywhere near his son while a target is painted on all their backs. But before he can reply, his doorbell rings. Rowan moves, silent, controlled. He checks the window first, habit, survival, paranoia. A sedan sits in his driveway, not Cael's. This one is older, unmarked, the kind of car that doesn't draw attention. Cael stands on the porch. No cane this time. His prosthetic is visible under jeans that don't hide it anymore. He looks wrecked, hair mussed, shirt wrinkled, eyes shadowed with the kind of exhaustion that comes from years of running and finally hitting a wall. Rowan opens the door. I told you to stay. I can't. Cael pushes past him, into the house, into the space Rowan spent all morning turning into a fortress. I can't let him do this. You don't have a choice. Neither do you. Cael turns. His eyes are wild, desperate. Bram doesn't bluff. If I don't comply, he'll. I know what he'll do. Then you know I have to give him what he wants. No, Rowan's voice is granite. You don't. Cael stares at him. Your son is already being moved. He won't be in that school, won't be in this city. Kessler's men can watch empty playgrounds all they want. That's not enough. Bram has resources, money, people everywhere. He'll find Pax. Cael's breath catches. God, Rowan, he'll do worse than take him. He'll make sure you watch. The words hit like bullets, precise, brutal, true. Rowan steps closer. Cael doesn't back away. They're inches apart now, alpha and omega, predator and prey, except neither of them fits the roles biology assigned. Why you? Rowan asks. Why does he want you this badly? Cael's jaw works, his hands shake. Because I left him. 5 years ago, I walked away from his organization with nothing but a severance check and a legal clause that said I'd never speak about what I knew. I built my company from that silence. I survived a bombing he stops, swallows. A bombing his people claimed was an accident. I lost my leg, my credibility, almost my life, and I still didn't come back. So this is revenge. This is ownership, Cael's voice cracks. He doesn't want me back because I'm useful. He wants me back because I proved an omega could leave an alpha and survive. He wants to make sure no one else tries. Rowan understands now, the bruise on Cael's wrist, the way he cleaned like muscle memory, the reason he came to Rowan's house that night, not just to return a jacket, but to find proof that safety still existed somewhere. He targeted Pax to get to you, Rowan says. Yes. And you came here to surrender. Yes. Rowan's hand moves, not violent, gentle. He cups Cael's face, rough palm against smooth skin, and forces the omega to look at him, to see him, to believe what comes next. I won't let him take you, Rowan says, and I won't let him touch my son. You can't stop him. Watch me. Cael's eyes glisten. Rowan. I've spent my whole life fighting men like Kessler, men who think power means they can take whatever they want. I know how they operate, I know their weaknesses, and I know, he leans closer, his voice drops, I know they don't expect resistance from people they've already hurt. What are you saying? I'm saying Bram Kessler just made a mistake. Rowan releases him, steps back. He told us exactly what he wants, where he'll be, when he expects compliance. He gave us a deadline and a location and a press conference that puts him in public view. That's not a mistake, that's confidence. No, Rowan's smile is cold, dangerous, the kind that makes enemies remember too late why they should have walked away. That's arrogance, and arrogant men make sloppy moves. Cael stares, hope flickers behind the fear. What are you planning? Everything. Before Rowan can explain, his phone buzzes. He glances down, a new message, not from Kessler this time. From Marcus. Landed 30 minutes out, what do you need? Rowan types back, bring the files. He looks at Cael, how much do you know about Kessler's organization? Enough. Contracts, shell companies, money trails. Cael hesitates, I have files from when I worked there, I kept copies, insurance. Where? In a storage unit, off-site, no one knows about it. Rowan nods, pieces are clicking together, a plan forming in the space between rage and calculation. Get them, bring everything. Names, transactions, anything that connects Kessler to illegal operations. That won't be enough to stop him. It will if we use it right. Cael doesn't move, doesn't breathe. You're going to destroy him. No, Rowan's voice is calm, final, we are. Cael's expression shifts. Fear bleeds into something else, something fiercer. He straightens, prosthetic firm, spine steel, and meets Rowan's eyes with the same intensity that built empires and survived bombs and refused to break. Okay, Cael says, tell me what you need. Rowan tells him. And for the first time since the video arrived, he feels the battlefield shift. But neither of them knows that Bram Kessler isn't the only enemy waiting in the shadows, and the real betrayal is about to come from someone far closer than either of them imagined. Cael talks for 20 minutes straight. He sits at Rowan's kitchen table, the same table where Pax ate cereal 3 hours ago and spills everything. Names, dates, contracts signed in private rooms where Omegas weren't supposed to speak but somehow always ended up holding the pen. He talks about the bombing, the investigation that went nowhere, the insurance payout that arrived too fast, too clean, like someone had filed the paperwork before the explosion even happened. Rowan listens, doesn't interrupt, doesn't react, just absorbs every word the way he absorbed interrogation training years ago, cataloging, categorizing, building maps of enemy territory in his mind. I knew it wasn't an accident, Cael says. His voice is steady but his hands aren't. They rest flat on the table, fingers spread like he's trying to anchor himself. The investigators found accelerant, traces of a timer, but the case closed in 6 weeks. Official ruling, faulty wiring in the building's basement. My lawyer said fighting it would cost more than I'd win. So you didn't fight? I couldn't. Cael's throat works. I was in the hospital for 4 months, physical therapy, surgeries, learning how to walk again on something that weighs 3 pounds and clicks every time I move. By the time I could think clearly, the story was already written. I was the tragic Omega CEO who survived a freak accident, inspirational, marketable, untouchable in all the wrong ways. But you knew Bram was involved. I knew. Cael looks down at his hands. I just couldn't prove it. Can you now? Silence stretches. Cael's jaw tightens. Maybe, if the files I kept still exist, if they haven't been scrubbed or destroyed or, he stops, breathes. I don't know, I haven't looked at them in years. Rowan stands, walks to the window. Outside, the street is still empty, but he knows better now. Knows that emptiness doesn't mean safety, just means the watchers are better at hiding. Why did you keep them? Rowan asks. Insurance. Against what? Him. Cael's voice drops. Bram doesn't let go. I knew even after I left, even after the bombing, he'd come back eventually, so I kept records, proof that if anything happened to me, certain information would surface. It was supposed to keep me safe. Did it? For 5 years, Cael laughs, bitter, until I made a mistake. What mistake? I went to a charity gala. He looks at Rowan. I saw you. The confession sits between them, heavy, undeniable. Rowan turns. That's not why he's doing this. Isn't it? Cael's eyes are too bright. Bram has people everywhere. At that gala in the parking lot, watching who I talk to, who I look at. He saw me give your son my jacket, saw me watch you leave with blood on your hands and exhaustion in your eyes. He saw, his voice cracks. He saw me care about someone, and that's the leverage he's been waiting for. Rowan crosses the room in 3 strides, sits across from Cael, leans forward. You didn't make a mistake. You were kind to a child. That's not weakness. In Bram's world, it is. Then his world is wrong. Cael stares at him. Something shifts in his expression, guarded walls cracking just slightly. You don't understand what he's capable of. Yes, I do. Rowan's voice is quiet, certain. I've been fighting men like Bram my whole life. Men who think power means they can take whatever they want, who think Omegas exist to serve, who think single fathers are easy targets because we're too busy surviving to fight back. He leans closer. They're wrong, every time, and Bram is about to learn that. How? By making the same mistake they all do. Rowan's smile is cold. He told us his plan. He gave us a deadline, a location, a public event. He thinks we'll comply because we are scared, because he's threatened a child, because that's what always works. It does work. Not this time. Cael's breath shakes. Rowan, if this goes wrong. It won't. You don't know that. I do. Rowan reaches across the table. His hand covers Cael's, warm skin over cold fingers. Because I'm not doing this alone, and neither are you. For a long moment, neither of them speaks. The house settles around them, old wood creaking, pipes humming, the distant sound of traffic. Normal. Safe, fragile. Then Cael's phone buzzes. He pulls it out, reads, his face goes white. What? Rowan asks. Cael doesn't answer, just turns the screen so Rowan can see. From Bram Kessler. Tick TOCK-CAEL, Friday is coming. I hope your PREPRNG your speech. I've already written mine. It's quite touching. About forgiveness. Second CHANCES. How OMEGAS who forget their place always come back to where they belong. P.S. Say hello to your new friend for me. I'm sure he's very protective. Let's see how long that LASDS. Rowan reads it twice. His pulse doesn't spike. His hands don't shake. He's been threatened before by men with more guns and less subtlety, but this is different. This is personal. He knows you're here, Cael whispers. Yes. He's watching us right now. Probably. Then we need to. Nothing. Rowan sets the phone down. We need to do nothing. Let him watch. Let him think he's winning. Let him believe we're scared and scrambling and about to fold. Aren't we? No, Rowan stands. We're planning. And while he's watching us, he's not watching the people I've already put in motion. Cael looks up. What people? The kind who don't show up in databases, who don't leave trails, who owe me favors big enough that when I call they don't ask questions. Rowan pulls out his phone. Marcus lands in 15 minutes. He's bringing equipment, files, everything we need to build a case that doesn't just stop Bram, it buries him. A legal case. Among other things. Cael stands too, his prosthetic scrapes tile. Rowan, if this doesn't work, if we try to expose him and it backfires, he won't just take me, he'll destroy you, your business, your reputation, everything you've built. I know, and you're still willing to risk it. Rowan doesn't hesitate. Yes. Why? The question hangs between them. Simple, impossible, the kind of thing that requires honesty Rowan hasn't given anyone in years. Because he threatened my son, Rowan says finally, and because you came here to surrender yourself to save him, that's not something I forget, ever. Cael's eyes glisten, he looks away. I didn't do it for gratitude. I know. Then what do you think I did it for? Rowan steps closer, close enough to see the exhaustion in Cael's face, the pain he's been hiding, the strength it takes to stand upright when everything inside is screaming to collapse. Because you're tired of running, Rowan says quietly, and maybe, just maybe, you wanted to find out what it feels like when someone fights back. Cael's breath catches, he doesn't deny it, can't. The doorbell rings. Rowan moves instantly, crossing the room, checking the window, confirming what he already knows. Marcus is early. The man on his porch is 6'4", built like a wall, carrying a black duffel that probably contains enough hardware to start a small war. Rowan opens the door. You made good time. You said it was urgent. Marcus glances past Rowan, sees Cael, nods once. This him? Yes. He know what he's getting into. He's about to. Marcus steps inside, sets the duffel on the floor, unzips it. Inside, laptops, drives, phones, files thick enough to break a table. Everything you asked for, plus some extras. Surveillance photos, financial records, 3 separate investigations that went cold because someone paid them to. Rowan kneels beside the bag, pulls out a file, flips it open. This is Kessler's. All of it took me 6 hours to compile, but it's clean, traceable, court-ready if you need it. Cael steps closer, looks down at the files, his hands tremble. How did you get this? Marcus smiles. Same way you got yours, I kept insurance. You worked for Bram. Everyone's worked for Bram at some point. Difference is most people don't live long enough to regret it. Marcus looks at Rowan. What's the play? Rowan stands. We expose him, publicly. At the press conference he's demanding. We let him think Cael's complying. Let him set the stage, then we turn it into his execution. That's bold. That's necessary. And if it doesn't work? Rowan's expression hardens. Then I have a backup plan. Which is? The kind we don't talk about in front of witnesses. Marcus nods. He understands, has always understood. There are lines Rowan walks that most people don't see, shadows between legal and necessary, justice and survival. Cael looks between them. What aren't you telling me? Rowan meets his eyes. That if this goes wrong, I'll make sure you and Pax are safe, no matter what it costs. And you? I'll be fine. You're lying. Maybe. Rowan's smile is thin, but you don't get to argue. You came here asking for protection. I'm giving it. The price is trust. Cael stares at him. For a long moment neither speaks. Then Cael nods, once, final. Okay, he says, I trust you. Rowan's chest tightens. He doesn't deserve that trust. Doesn't know if he can keep the promises his silence is making, but he'll try. God help him, he'll try. Good, Rowan says, because we start now. He pulls out his phone, dials a number most people don't have. The line clicks open. It's Rowan Hale, he says. I need a favor, the kind that doesn't get discussed, the kind that. He stops, listens, then, Friday, 2 p.m., Kessler Holdings press room. I need eyes on every exit, every camera, every person who walks through that door. Silence, then, understood. Rowan hangs up, looks at Cael. We have 48 hours. That's how long until Bram thinks he's won, until he stands in front of cameras and announces your return, until he makes the mistake that ends him. What if we're wrong? Cael whispers. What if he's already 10 steps ahead? Rowan doesn't answer right away. He walks to Cael, places both hands on the Omega's shoulders, looks him in the eyes. Then we adapt, Rowan says, because that's what survivors do. We don't give up, we don't surrender. We fight until there's nothing left to fight for, and even then we fight anyway. Cael's eyes close, he breathes, opens them. I haven't fought in a long time. Then it's time you remembered how. And in that moment, standing in a kitchen with files scattered and plans forming and danger closing in, Cael realizes something terrifying and true. He doesn't want to disappear anymore. He wants to stand, to fight, to prove that Omegas who leave don't have to spend the rest of their lives running. But first, he has to survive the man who's been hunting him for 5 years, and the secrets buried in his own company that are about to surface. The warehouse smells like rust and diesel. Rowan walks through the side entrance. No lights, no announcement. Marcus 3 steps behind him. Their footsteps echo against concrete that hasn't been cleaned in decades. This is neutral ground, the kind of place where deals get made and bodies get found, depending on how the conversation goes. 3 men wait in the center of the space. Rowan recognizes 2 of them. Kendrick Oates, federal investigator who quit when his boss told him to drop the Kessler case. Tyrell Moss, journalist who got fired for asking questions about real estate deals that looked too clean. The 3rd man is younger, nervous. His hands shake when he lights a cigarette. "This him?" Kendrick asks, nodding at Marcus. "That's Marcus." Rowan stops 10 feet away, respects the distance. "You bring what I asked." Kendrick holds up a flash drive. Everything, 3 years of investigation, witness statements, financial records, enough to bury Kessler 6 times over. "Why didn't you use it?" "Because my boss got a promotion, my partner got transferred, my wife got a job offer in a different state." Kendrick's jaw tightens. "Because people who go after Bram Kessler don't just lose their cases, they lose everything." "It's not anymore." Tyrell steps forward. "You got a plan, or you just collecting evidence for fun?" "I got a plan." "Care to share?" Friday, press conference. Kessler's expecting Cael Mercer to resign publicly and come back to his organization. Instead, we're going to show the world exactly who Bram Kessler is. The younger man laughs, bitter. "You think one press conference is going to stop him? He's got lawyers, judges, half the city council in his pocket." "He's got influence," Rowan agrees. "But influence only works when people are too scared to speak. We're about to give them permission." Marcus opens his laptop, pulls up a file, video footage, grainy but clear. A boardroom, Bram Kessler at the head of the table. Cael Mercer sitting 6 seats down, younger whole, both legs visible under the table edge. "Where did you get this?" Kendrick breathes. Cael kept copies. Marcus hits play. The video runs. Bram's voice fills the warehouse, smooth, confident, making jokes about market share and competition. Then the conversation shifts. Someone asks about a building inspection that's holding up a development deal. Bram smiles, says 3 words that change everything. "Make it disappear." 6 weeks later. That building exploded. Cael was inside. Tyrell stares at the screen. "Jesus Christ." "That's just the opening act," Marcus says. He clicks to another file. Bank statements, wire transfers, shell companies moving money through 3 countries and back again. Kessler's been laundering for years. Real estate deals that don't make sense. Property values that spike overnight. Tenants who get evicted with 24 hours notice and no legal recourse. Kendrick takes the flash drive, plugs it into his own laptop, scrolls through files. His expression shifts from skeptical to shocked to something close to savage. "This is enough," he says quietly. "This is more than enough." "Then use it." "How? If I go to my old department, they'll shut me down before I finish the first sentence." "You're not going to your old department." Rowan pulls out his phone, shows them a contact. "You're going to the feds, the ones who don't answer to local jurisdictions, the ones who have been waiting for someone to hand them a case they can't ignore." "And you think they'll act on this?" "They will if it's hand-delivered by a witness who's willing to testify. Live, on camera, in front of a room full of reporters who are all recording." Understanding dawns. Tyrell grins. "You're going to turn Kessler's press conference into his trial." "Exactly." The nervous man speaks up. "What about security? Kessler's got people everywhere, armed, trained. The second they realize what's happening, they'll shut it down." "Let them try." Rowan's voice is cold, final. "I've got my own people in place, ex-military, private contractors, the kind who know how to make sure exits stay open and cameras keep rolling no matter who tries to interfere." Marcus closes his laptop. We go live at 2 p.m. Cael walks in looking compliant. Kessler makes his opening remarks. Then Cael takes the microphone and instead of resigning he tells the truth. Everything, the bombing, the threats, the years of intimidation. While he's talking, these files start circulating. Reporters get them. Federal agents get them. By the time Kessler realizes what's happening, it's too late to stop. Kendrick looks at Rowan. "This could blow up in all our faces." "It could. People could get hurt." "They could." "You're willing to risk that?" Rowan thinks of Pax. of the video showing his son's school, of Cael standing in his kitchen offering to disappear so a child he barely knows stays safe. Yes, Rowan says, I am. Silence settles, the warehouse feels smaller, colder, like the walls are listening. Then Kendrick nods, okay, I'm in. Tyrell follows, me too. The nervous man hesitates, then, what the hell, I'm in. Rowan shakes their hands, one by one, sealing the deal with grip strength and eye contact, and the understanding that they're all about to cross a line there's no coming back from. His phone buzzes, text from Cael, something's wrong. Rowan's pulse spikes, we need to move, now. The storage unit is open. Cael stands outside, staring at the rolled-up door, his prosthetic locked in place like his legs forgot how to move. The padlock is gone, cut clean through. The interior is dark, but he can see enough, boxes overturned, files scattered, everything he's kept hidden for 5 years torn apart and exposed. Rowan arrives in under 10 minutes. He doesn't ask questions, just walks past Cael into the unit, stepping over papers and broken plastic bins, his eyes scanning every corner. When did you check it last? Rowan asks. 6 months ago, maybe longer. Who knew about this place? No one. I paid cash, used a fake name. There's no paperwork connecting me to this unit. Then someone followed you, or someone talked. Cael's breath comes short, fast, they took everything. Not everything. Rowan kneels, picks up a folder. Half the pages are missing but enough remain. This is still usable. What about backups? Cael's mind is spinning. I made digital copies, years ago on a hard drive. Where? My office, in the safe. Rowan stands, pulls out his phone. Marcus, we've got a problem. He explains in clipped sentences, listens, then, check it now. He hangs up, looks at Cael. If someone cleaned out your storage unit, they might have your office too. That's not possible. The safe requires biometric access, fingerprint and retinal scan. No one can open it except me. Unless they have you. The words land like a fist. Cael goes cold. What are you saying? I'm saying Bram's been planning this longer than we thought. He didn't just threaten us yesterday. He's been positioning pieces for weeks, maybe months, waiting for the right moment to move. Cael's phone buzzes. He pulls it out. Unknown number. The message is simple. Check your email. His hands shake when he opens it. One new message. No subject, just a video attachment. He clicks play. His office, empty. His safe stands open. The hard drive is gone. In its place, a note, handwritten. Cael recognizes the script immediately. You should have been more careful, Cael. 5 years is a long time to keep secrets, but secrets have a way of surfacing, especially when the people you trust aren't who they seem. See you Friday. The video ends. Cael can't breathe, can't think. His entire insurance policy, every piece of evidence he's collected, every backup plan he's made, gone, taken, destroyed. He has everything, Cael whispers. Rowan takes the phone, watches the video twice, his jaw tightens. This doesn't make sense. What doesn't? If Bram has all your evidence, why bother with the press conference? Why not just destroy you quietly? Because it's not about destroying me. Cael's voice cracks. It's about proving I can't escape, that even with 5 years of planning, even with evidence and backups and legal protection, I still end up exactly where he wants me. Rowan's expression darkens. There's something else. What? That note, the people you trust aren't who they seem. Rowan looks at him. Cael, who has access to your office. My assistant, my head of security, the cleaning crew. Anyone else? Cael thinks, his mind races through faces, names, people he's worked with for years. Then it hits him. Cold, devastating, impossible. No, he breathes. It's who? My board, they have emergency access. In case something happens to me, it's standard corporate protocol. It's your board? Yes. Rowan's eyes narrow. The same board that's been running your company while you've been dealing with this threat. Cael nods, can't speak. The same board that would benefit if you stepped down. Another nod. Rowan pulls out his phone, dials. Marcus, I need a full background check on Cael's board of directors. Everyone, financial records, personal connections, anything that links them to Kessler Holdings. Pause, I don't care how long it takes, we need it before Friday. He hangs up, turns to Cael. How much do you trust them? Cael's voice fails. I trusted them completely. Past tense. I don't know anymore. Rowan steps closer. Listen to me. If your board sold you out, if they've been working with Bram this whole time, then everything you've built, your company, your reputation, your leverage, it's all been compromised from the inside. Why would they do that? Money, power, fear, pick one. Rowan's tone is hard. Or maybe they just wanted you gone. Maybe having an Omega CEO was good for headlines but bad for business. Maybe they've been waiting for an excuse to remove you without looking like the bad guys. Cael feels his legs weaken. He leans against the storage unit wall. If that's true, then the bombing wasn't just Bram. The truth crashes down. 5 years of believing he survived an assassination attempt ordered by one man. 5 years of planning revenge against the wrong enemy. 5 years of missing the real threat sitting across from him at every board meeting, smiling, agreeing, plotting. They wanted me dead, Cael whispers. They wanted you gone. Death was just efficient. And when I survived, they had to adapt, so they made a deal with Bram, let him finish what they started. In exchange for, Rowan stops. His eyes widen. In exchange for control of your company once you're gone. Cael stares at him, the pieces click together. Horrible, perfect, true. Friday's press conference isn't about me resigning, Cael says slowly. It's about transferring power. Bram gets me, the board gets my company, everyone wins. Except you. Except me. Rowan's phone rings, he answers. Listens, his face goes stone. You're sure? Pause, all of them. Pause, send me everything. He hangs up, looks at Cael. Marcus found the connection. 3 of your board members have financial ties to Kessler Holdings, shell companies, offshore accounts, money moving back and forth for 18 months. 18 months, Cael's voice is hollow. That's when they started pushing me to step back, take time off. Let them handle day-to-day operations while I focused on recovery. They've been planning this since the bombing. They've been planning this because of the bombing. Cael's hands curl into fists. They thought I'd die. When I didn't, they had to wait, let me rebuild, let me think I was safe. Then they brought Bram back in to finish the job. Rowan watches him, sees the Omega's face shift from devastation to fury, sees the moment Cael stops being a victim and becomes something else entirely. What do you want to do? Rowan asks quietly. Cael looks up, his eyes are dry, clear, burning. I want to destroy them all. But as Cael prepares to expose the people who betrayed him, neither he nor Rowan realizes that the final trap has already been set, and walking into Friday's press conference might be exactly what their enemies want. The press room is packed. Cael stands backstage, watching through a gap in the curtain. Reporters fill every seat. Cameras line the back wall. The stage is set podium center, microphones arranged, 2 chairs waiting, one for him, one for Bram. His prosthetic aches. He's been standing too long, hasn't slept in 36 hours, but his suit is perfect. His hair is neat. He looks exactly like the compliant Omega everyone expects to see. Rowan stands beside him, silent, solid, a wall between Cael and everything waiting beyond that curtain. You don't have to do this, Rowan says. Yes, I do. If it goes wrong. It won't. Cael. They tried to kill me. Cael's voice is steady, cold. My own board, people I trusted, people I built a company with. They signed off on a bombing that took my leg and almost took my life. Then they smiled at me in hospitals and board meetings and strategy sessions while planning how to finish what they started. He turns to Rowan. I'm not running anymore, I'm not hiding. I'm walking onto that stage and I'm telling the truth, all of it. Rowan nods, then I'll be watching. If anything goes wrong, if anyone tries to stop you, I'll make sure you get out. And if I don't want to get out? Too bad, you don't get a vote. Cael almost smiles, then the stage manager appears. Mr. Mercer, 2 minutes. This is it. Cael walks to the curtain edge. His heart pounds, his hands are steady. Everything he's prepared for the last 48 hours comes down to the next 10 minutes. He thinks of Pax, safe now, hidden somewhere Bram's people will never find him. He thinks of Rowan, standing in a kitchen 3 days ago, refusing to let him surrender. He thinks of himself, the Omega who survived when he was supposed to die. The curtain parts. Cael walks onto the stage. The lights are blinding. The crowd goes silent. He moves to his chair, slow, measured, letting everyone see the prosthetic, letting them remember what happened 5 years ago, letting them wonder why he's here. Bram enters from the opposite side. He's smiling, confident, Alpha pheromones roll off him in waves, dominance, control, certainty. He takes his seat, doesn't look at Cael, just waves at the cameras like this is a celebration. The moderator steps to the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. Mr. Kessler has an announcement regarding a new partnership between Kessler Holdings and Mercer Industries. Mr. Kessler, the floor is yours. Bram stands, walks to the podium. His smile widens. Thank you all for coming. Today marks a significant moment in our city's business community. After years of distance, I'm pleased to announce that Cael Mercer, founder and CEO of Mercer Industries, will be rejoining Kessler Holdings as a senior consultant. This partnership represents... No! The word cuts through the room. Every head turns. Cael stands, his prosthetic clicks as he walks to the podium. Bram's smile falters, just slightly. Cael, Bram says smoothly, we discussed this, you're supposed to. I'm not rejoining your organization. Cael's voice carries, clear, strong. I'm not resigning, I'm not stepping down, I'm here to tell the truth. Murmurs ripple through the crowd, cameras zoom in, Bram's expression hardens. This isn't what we agreed to. You threatened a child. Cael looks directly into the nearest camera. Bram Kessler sent someone to watch a 6-year-old boy at his school, sent me a video proving he knew where that child would be, told me that unless I complied with his demands, that child would suffer consequences. The room explodes, reporters shout questions, cameras flash. Bram steps forward, reaching for Cael's arm. You're making a mistake. Cael pulls away. 5 years ago, my office building exploded. I lost my leg. 14 other people were injured. The official investigation called it faulty wiring, but it wasn't. He pulls a remote from his pocket, clicks. The screen behind him lights up. Video footage, the boardroom. Bram's voice, make it disappear. The room goes silent. This video was recorded 6 weeks before the bombing, Cael continues. Bram Kessler ordered the destruction of a building that was blocking one of his development deals. That building was mine. I was inside when it exploded. Bram's face drains of color. That's taken out of context. Is it? Cael clicks again. Bank statements fill the screen. Wire transfers. Shell companies. These are financial records showing payments from Kessler Holdings to offshore accounts controlled by 3 members of my board of directors. Payments that started 18 months ago. Payments that continued after the bombing. Payments that prove my own board conspired with Bram Kessler to remove me from my company. Chaos erupts. Reporters are standing, shouting, pushing toward the stage. Security tries to restore order, but there are too many people, too many cameras. Bram lunges for the podium. Rowan appears, seemingly from nowhere, blocking his path. Don't, Rowan says quietly. Bram snarls, you have no idea what you've done. I know exactly what I've done. Rowan's smile is cold. I've made sure everyone in this room has copies of those files. I've made sure federal agents are waiting outside with warrants. I've made sure that even if you walk out of here today, you won't walk free for long. Bram looks around, sees the cameras, the reporters, the exits blocked by men who aren't his security. He realizes, too late, that he's been outmaneuvered. Cael steps forward, stands beside Rowan, faces the man who tried to destroy him. You told me Omegas who challenge Alphas pay in flesh, Cael says quietly. You were right, I paid, but I'm still standing. And you, he looks at Bram's terrified face, you're finished. Police enter, federal agents. They move through the crowd, efficient, professional. 3 agents walk onto the stage. One approaches Bram. Bram Kessler, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder, wire fraud, and extortion. Bram doesn't resist, can't, he's already broken. As they lead him away, Cael turns to the cameras. I survived because someone taught me that power doesn't come from standing alone. It comes from protecting what matters, from refusing to let fear win, from choosing truth over safety. He pauses. I'm not a victim. I'm not a symbol. I'm an Omega who refused to disappear, and I'm not the only one. The room erupts in applause, not for Bram, for him. Cael steps back from the podium. His legs shake, his prosthetic aches, but he's standing, still standing. Rowan catches him before he falls. But even as justice closes in on Bram Kessler, one final threat remains, and the man who's been watching from the shadows is about to make his move. The room is bare. No furniture, no windows, just concrete walls and a single door that locks from the outside. Bram sits in a metal chair, hands cuffed, his suit wrinkled, his alpha confidence reduced to ash. Rowan enters, alone. The door closes behind him. No guards, no witnesses, just two men and the space between them. Bram looks up, his face is hollow, defeated, come to gloat. No, Rowan stays by the door, doesn't move closer. I came to make sure you understand the line you crossed. What line? Bram laughs, bitter. The line where I threatened a child, where I tried to own someone who didn't want to be owned, where I played the game everyone plays but got caught. The line, Rowan says quietly, where you targeted innocence, where you looked at a 6-year-old boy and decided his safety was negotiable. That's the line. That's what separates men like me from men like you. Men like you, Bram sneers. You think you're different. You're a killer, Rowan. Everyone knows it. You've done worse than threatened children. You've buried bodies, ruined lives. Don't stand there pretending you're better than me. I don't pretend. Rowan's voice is cold, final. I know what I am. I know the things I've done. The difference is I've never used my power to hurt someone who couldn't fight back. I've never targeted a child. And that, he steps forward, that's the only line that matters. Bram stares at him. So what now? You kill me, make me disappear. No. Then what? You live, Rowan's smile is thin. You go to trial. You sit in a courtroom and listen while prosecutors lay out every crime you committed. You watch as your empire gets dismantled piece by piece. You spend the next 20 years in a cell knowing that you destroyed yourself. Not me, not Cael, you. Bram's face crumples. I had everything. You had nothing. Rowan turns toward the door. Because you never understood that power without protection is just violence, and violence always consumes itself. He knocks, the door opens, guards enter. Rowan walks out without looking back. Outside, Cael is waiting. His prosthetic is gone, replaced by crutches for today because standing that long yesterday left him exhausted. But his eyes are clear, steady. It's over, Cael asks. It's over. What did you say to him? The truth, Rowan helps Cael to the car, that he lost the moment he threatened someone I care about. Cael looks at him, someone you care about. Rowan doesn't answer, just opens the car door, helps Cael inside. They drive in silence. The city passes, buildings, people, life continuing like the last 3 days didn't reshape everything. Like justice is always this simple, this clean. Cael knows better, knows that trials take time, that appeals drag on, that men like Bram have resources even from behind bars, but for now, for this moment, it's enough to breathe, to sit beside someone who fought for him without asking for anything in return. Where's Pax? Cael asks. Safe with someone I trust. I'll bring him home tomorrow. And your life, your business. Still standing. Because of me. Because of us, Rowan glances at him. You didn't do this alone, neither did I. Cael nods, quiet, thinking then, what happens now? As Rowan drives through the city with the man he fought to protect, neither of them knows that the hardest choice still lies ahead, not between safety and danger, but between returning to the lives they had and building something new together. The sink is dry. Rowan comes home 3 weeks later to silence. Good silence, the kind that means no threats, no watchers, no messages with timestamps and surveillance. Pax runs to him, full speed, arms wide, laughing about something that happened at school, something normal, safe. Rowan lifts him, holds him close, breathes in the smell of crayons and juice boxes and childhood. Is Mr. Cael coming over? Pax asks when Rowan sets him down. Maybe. I liked him. I know. Do you like him? Rowan doesn't answer, just ruffles Pax's hair and walks to the kitchen. Cael is there, not cleaning this time, just sitting at the table, paperwork spread out, his cane resting against the chair. He's wearing jeans and a sweater, casual, comfortable, nothing like the CEO armor he wore for cameras and courtrooms. He looks up when Rowan enters, smiles, hope you don't mind, Pax let me in. I mind that you keep showing up unannounced. Would you prefer I knock? I'd prefer you stop acting like you don't belong here. Cael's smile fades, he looks down at the paperwork. I'm working on transition plans for the company, the board is gone, all 3 members arrested, but I need to rebuild, find people I can trust, make sure what happened never happens again. That's not what I meant. I know, Cael's voice is soft, but it's easier to talk about work than to talk about. He stops, gestures vaguely. This. Rowan sits across from him. What is this? I don't know, do you? No. They sit in silence. Pax's laughter echoes from the other room. The house settles around them, familiar creaks, warm air, the sound of life continuing. I'm not good at this, Cael says finally, at being vulnerable, at accepting help, at staying in one place long enough to build something real. Neither am I. Then maybe we are both learning. Rowan reaches across the table. His hand covers Cael's, rough skin over smooth, alpha and omega, but more than that, two people who chose each other when they didn't have to, who fought when running would have been easier, who stood when everything demanded they fall. You're staying, Rowan says, not a question, a statement. If you'll let me. I'm letting you. Cael's eyes glisten. He doesn't look away this time, doesn't hide. What about Pax? Pax already adopted you, you're just catching up. They laugh, quiet, real, the sound of tension finally breaking. Pax appears in the doorway. Daddy, can we play a game? What game? The dinosaur won, and Mr. Cael has to play too. Cael looks at Rowan. Rowan shrugs. You heard the kid. They play, all three of them on the floor, plastic dinosaurs roaring, Pax narrating an elaborate story about volcanoes and meteor strikes and dinosaurs who survive because they stick together. It's silly, perfect, everything Rowan didn't know he needed until it was here. Later, after Pax is in bed, after the house goes quiet again, Rowan and Cael sit on the couch. Not touching, just close. This isn't how I expected things to go, Cael says. What did you expect? To fight alone, to win or lose on my own terms, to prove that omegas don't need alphas to survive. Do they? No, Cael looks at him, but sometimes it's nice to have someone who chooses to stay anyway. Rowan doesn't respond with words, he just shifts closer, lets their shoulders touch, lets the silence say what neither of them knows how to voice yet. This isn't a story about dominance, or submission, or biology dictating destiny. It's about choosing family when the world says you shouldn't, about protection without possession, about strength that comes from standing together instead of standing alone. And for Pax, asleep upstairs, safe in a house that finally feels like home again, it's simple. Love isn't loud, it's steady, it's showing up, it's washing dishes you didn't dirty and staying when leaving would be easier and fighting for people who matter more than fear. Rowan looks at Cael. You're really staying. I'm really staying. Good. Because some stories don't end with grand gestures or perfect resolutions. They end with quiet moments, with paperwork on kitchen tables and dinosaur games and two people learning how to build something that lasts. They end with home. Thank you for watching this story of courage, truth, and chosen family. If this story moved you, please subscribe and turn on notifications. We have more inspiring stories coming that explore what it means to protect the people we love and stand up against injustice. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever had to stand up to someone more powerful than you? What gave you the strength to keep fighting? Your story might inspire someone else who needs to hear it today. Remember, power means nothing if it doesn't protect the vulnerable. See you in the next story.